Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Saturdays for Sustainability Learning, and we are connecting with a goal to discuss sustainability topic for a holistic understanding. And if you have joined for the first time, let me just quickly share with you what is this initiative all about. So it's a mastermind group where we have peer-to-peer mentoring. We help each other solve the problem, understand the concept, and it's a forum where we can get input and advice from the other members as well. So if you're joined, so in next 60 minutes, you can expect these four benefits. That is, one is learning new concept or a new aspect of a concept every week, networking, getting to know people from different walks of life. Third is learning opportunities, and the fourth is thought leadership. So it's uh, we as a collective group that can shape the India's future or the world's future in sustainable development. So how do we steer it? So that's something we will explore during this next 1 hour. And if you ask me to explain this within a minute, I can do so with these 2 points. First is you can consider this as a pyramid, as a triangle. Data, information, knowledge, wisdom, DIKW pyramid. So we have more data, more information that we can possibly consume in today's time. But what we lack is the knowledge and wisdom part of it. And that's possible with experience, with time. And that's what we will try to do. So we will get to know from each other's experiences. So please feel free to share your experiences. And if you have any point to make, please feel free. So it's a non-judgmental group. You can share that. And second point is the discussion and question and answer is always a great way to learn. So please feel free to ask your questions, ask your doubts, and that's a humble request for all of you. Okay, so if you have joined this initiative, I hope you have already registered. It's a one-time registration, and that's how you will get the calendar invite as well. So that's how you get the notifications on your calendar as well. All right, so if you have done that, that's great. If not, please do it. It's only required one time. So let's come back to today's topic, and it's week 84. And I'm very happy to share today's topic, which is circular economy and zero waste to landfill approach, which is very popular and very practical and required in today's time. And I'm very happy and grateful to Mr. Govind Pitre, who is the CEO of Shashwati Consultancy Services from Pune. And he has a wonderful experience in training, capacity building, and he also loves to see people learn and develop themselves. So he is a wonderful resource, wonderful expert in this field, and I'm very glad that he agreed just instantly when I asked him, and really grateful for agreeing to join as a guest speaker and sharing your valuable insights on this topic. Thank you, sir, from all of you before starting. And I would request you to say thank you.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Yes.
Is my screen visible now? Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, visible.
Okay, so shall we start now?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you, Dhananjay, for arranging this session, and all the participants on weekend also. You are very eagerly, waiting for the new learning sessions that talks about the passion and the special interest that you take. Today's topic is on circular economy and zero waste to landfill. Okay. Only when we practice circular economy concept in our materials management processes, okay, then only we can minimize the waste to near zero. Okay, and that is where the material as a resource, we increase the efficiency of our material management through these circular economy practices. So that is where this concept is coming from. I represent Shashwati Consultancy Services, which is into sustainability reporting, BRSR, sustainable supply chain management. I happen to work for more than 37 years with various groups, and now practicing the sustainability in various aspects. I am supported by my wife, Dr. Gitanjali, who is also ex-professor from Symbiosis Management Institute. So let's get into the actual topic which we are going to cover. So we will have 4 parts. One is the introduction part. Second is some of the principles that we will go through. Then we will see zero waste to landfill concept and few case studies also, how people have implemented effectively this practice. So let's go into the introduction part. So what is circular economy? Okay, it is a closed loop system, okay, in which raw materials, components, products retain their value as much as possible. Okay, use renewable energy sources and put systems thinking in the core. So what we are trying here is trying to maximize the utilization, not just once, but trying to use the same resource as many times as possible through rework, through repair, through retrofits, through extended life, okay, selecting right materials, all that. So whatever is required to do the extended life and reducing the load on Mother Earth for again and again going and digging and taking out, extracting new resources. Okay, because our Earth has limited volume and 8.5 billion people, they think that the entire Earth has been created only for human beings. That is a skewed thinking, which actually is the real genuine concern for sustainability. Okay, if we do not consider other creatures, other birds, other trees, other species as part of this ecosystem, and a human being wants to exploit everything only for his betterment or her betterment, whatever. So that is the real concern on which this entire concept is built. So there are 4 aspects to this. One is the economic value. Second is action on climate and economic crisis. Third is mitigating the risks and adapting to the regulations. These are different aspects. And there are 3, basic circles. If you see here, the one is you can create. Okay, we can create more business value. But if we keep on circulating the same resources, we can reduce the load on Mother Earth. So first, what is the economic value? By circular economy, we are able to reduce the raw material costs. Okay. Second is we are freeing up the working capital. Otherwise, more number of times you buy the materials, more number of times you have to pay to the suppliers. Okay. It generates the new revenue stream by recycling, reusing, okay, re-engineering. Many methods are there, and we retain consumers through their changing sustainability demands. So now the customers, consumers, there is a section of consumers which is more and more demanding the eco-labeled products. What is eco-labeling of products? It means that the lesser and lesser you make the damage to the ecology, environment, Mother Earth, to produce that part, to use that part, okay, to end up the life cycle. So entire complete product life cycle, you use minimum resources, minimum energy, okay, and at the end of our life also, you try to recycle and reuse it as much as possible. Then only you will get a better rating in the eco-labeling practices. Second is action on climate and economic crisis. So 40% of global emissions can be reduced if circular economy strategies are applied. Now, as you know, in the GHG inventory, more than 80% emissions are in scope 3 emissions. Now, scope 3 emissions, if you want to control those, 80% plus, naturally you have to work on value chain. And that is where if we can work on circular economy, that much amount of GHG emission in scope 3 are minimized, including purchase goods and services, transportation, end of life disposal, waste management. So many categories under scope 3 you can take care. Next is the mitigating the risk. So a circular business model allows the redesign of products and services utilizing new technologies that enable future optimization, virtualizing, that is track and trace, Internet of Things, blockchain. So through this, you can do a lot of innovative things, new breakthrough ideas. Okay, so circular economy actually is a good ground where innovation can be nurtured in an organization. And next is adapting to regulations. So new material use regulation means clients that lack adaptation will be impacted through taxation bills. Investment requirements from lenders require sustainability reports integrated with circularity KPIs. Okay, so if you see the GRI standard and various sector specific indicators and the topic related indicators, you will find that more and more requirements are coming in waste management, waste minimization, okay, and principles of circular economy. So with one practice of circular economy, we are able to fulfill all the 4 dimensions of sustainability. Okay, so what is circularity? Like, again, let me give little more background. In linear, what we do, we take raw materials, we produce, we use, and then we non-recyclable waste. We generate that and just dump it either on soil or burn it or throw it anywhere without care. Okay, that is linear economy. Then second is the reuse economy, where in between, whatever the process waste, etc., is generating, you are trying to bring back into the production. But again, there is a non-recyclable waste generated. Okay. Whereas in the circular economy, we use the raw materials, we produce, we use, and we try to recycle as much as possible, maximize the recycling. Okay, so that is where the resource efficiency is enhanced, which is more environmental friendly. So what are the benefits of circular economy? Okay, first is protection of environment and biodiversity, because you are not exploiting resources more often. Second is creation of stable business and jobs. Not only you are creating jobs in original extraction, original processing, original transportation, manufacturing, but you are also creating more jobs in recycle, reuse, areas. Second is increase in living standards and quality of life, because you are more closer to nature. Okay, you are responsible consumer, and thereby you take pride in living a responsible life. Second is tracking global warming and climate change. Tackling global warming and climate change, this is an indirect benefit. And this is the sustainable model for protecting future generations. The whole purpose why sustainability concept has come is to fulfill the stakeholder which is invisible. Which is that invisible stakeholder? The future generations, the people who are yet to come in on the Mother Earth. So for them, we are trying to restore, we are trying to protect, we are trying to, planet positive. That means we want to leave the planet more better than what condition we got from our ancestors. That is the whole concept of sustainability, which is futuristic oriented, proactive, and getting future ready kind of situation. So what are some of the principles of circular economy? So one is, whatever resources we are getting. Okay, so even the when the manufacturing designs are done, the design department should be able to tell that in the process, in the product material, the tolerances, what they are designing, how much is going to be the expected waste. Okay, so there has to be a budget for waste. So should be waste and actual waste. Like in material management, we talk about should be cost and actual cost. Okay, so like that, we should know what should be the waste generated in the process. Against that, you can check and then see whether where is the process you have the scope for further improvement. So the concept recognizes the importance of the economy needing to work effectively at all scales for big and small businesses, for organizations and individuals globally and locally. So we try to, in the process, we do proper design. So if you see BRSR principle 2, what does it say? Principle 2 focuses on developing safe and sustainable products. Okay, so that is the principle where in proactive planning stage itself, you are trying to minimize the waste in the supply chain. Okay, then in principle 6, where you are managing the environment, again you are looking at your waste management practices, and there is a relation between waste management and GHG emission accounting also in scope 3, in both upward cycle as well as downward cycle. Both ways we have the waste management as a core element in GHG accounting also. So one is design out waste and pollution. So we, the hierarchy of waste management. So we first basically focus on source reduction. Okay, this is the first principle. Then we, if not possible, then whatever waste is generated, we try to recycle. Okay, then we try to recover the energy from that material which is being wasted. Then you treat it, and after all, you go for disposal, either landfill or any other incineration or whatever you want to do. So this is the hierarchy of pollution prevention, which we have discussed in ISO 14001 also. Second is keep products and materials in use. So don't throw it. Try to bring them back into the cycle. So first is design for manufacturing, design for environment. Okay, that is the basic concept. Then you go for sustainable manufacturing. So in the manufacturing processes also, you design your industrial engineering processes, technical processes, manufacturing processes, and have the process control in such a way that minimal waste is generated. Second is optimization of products, processes, techniques, and increase the energy efficiency. Okay, that is another part. Then producing less pollutants, emission, and waste, and industrial symbiosis. That means you try to work in a team approach, okay, in a cohesive approach, in a symbiotic approach, where everything is considered as an ecosystem and we do not work in silos. That is the principle with which this circular economy works. So a circular economy favors activities that preserve value in the form of energy, labor, and materials. This means designing for durability, reuse, remanufacturing, and recycling to keep products, components, and materials circulating in the economy. This is very important. Circular systems make effective use of bio-based materials by encouraging many different uses for them as they cycle between the economy and natural systems. So here you have multiple advantage on economy side also and ecology side also. The third principle is regenerate natural systems. Okay, so you go for more and more for hydropower, solar, biomass, wind energy, geothermal energy, where you are not creating more pollution. Okay, we are not exploiting the resources. Okay, second is circular economy avoids the use of non-renewable resources like coal, oil, natural gas, nuclear energy, etc., and preserves or enhances the renewable ones. For instance, by returning valuable nutrients to the soil to support regeneration, or using renewable energy as opposed to relying on fossil fuels. So even agricultural practices, okay, where we instead of relying on the chemical fertilizers, we should rely more on recycling the biomass, okay, so that you don't load, the pollution load onto the soil is minimized. So let us see now what is zero waste to landfill. Okay, so zero waste to landfill is a philosophy of reducing the amount of waste that ends up to landfill. Although zero is used, not all waste types can be otherwise processed. For example, paint shop is there, automobile paint shop, where a lot of chemicals, phosphates, okay, and degreasing agents, chemicals, alkalis are used. Now, naturally, the kind of waste, hazardous waste that gets generated, you cannot, do all the recycle, reuse, etc. So maybe some such waste we may still go to treatment and landfill or direct incineration. But your aim should be at least you reach up to 99% level. Through exploring alternative solutions of disposal or further use, the initiative helps waste producers understand and better value their waste. So actually waste is a misplaced resource. Okay, originally it was a resource, but because you don't know where to place it, you are putting it in the dustbin. Okay, if you realize the value and if you respect the waste, materials as much as the original raw materials, you will see waste as a gold, waste as wealth, waste as energy resource. Okay, so those are the paradigm shifts which are required if you want to really get the benefits of resource efficiency. Diverting waste from landfill and maximizing its potential can also help businesses cut costs and increase process efficiency. Achieving zero waste to landfill is more of a philosophy businesses work towards. However, certifications are available. For example, the Carbon Trust standard for zero waste to landfill. There are at least 3 to 4 standards that we know of in certifying the organizations for zero waste to landfill. We will come to that. So what is zero waste is basically you try to minimize the waste, right from designing the product, designing the processes, optimizing the process control measures on the shop floor, handling the waste in a proper manner, segregating it at right time, and disposing it in an environmental friendly manner. So that is a concept where basically you create less waste, and then you go for zero waste to landfill by increasing the recycle reuse percentage and identifying new innovative methods, creative methods, and thereby trying to minimize the load on actual landfill. Okay, that is the additional work that we do, which means that all waste produced is either reused, recycled, composted, or sent to energy recovery. Okay, so this is where lot of resource saving is possible, cost saving is possible, profit maximizing is possible, and at the same time you are taking care of environment. So nobody can ask the question whether I should do sustainability or whether I should do profit enhancement. So both can coexist and work together. So some of the benefits is the waste reduction, second is greenhouse gas reduction, third is identification and improvement of processes or divisions. So when you do it for waste, naturally your rejections are less, your variations are less. Okay, accuracy, precision is more. Okay, and energy consumption in that process is optimized. Okay, any other indirect materials that you are using, those are also less. Okay, and the person who is working is very careful. So an alert person is more safer, alert person is more energy efficient. Okay, and he is more productive. So you worked for waste, but actually you ended up in many more advantages. reduction in the adverse environmental impacts, either in air, water, soil, anywhere, meeting the environmental goals. So whatever the KPIs are decided on material efficiency, you are able to achieve. Improved corporate social responsibility, because you are creating lesser load for the overall society to manage. Otherwise, when your waste is dumped, naturally the nearby people, okay, are seriously affected, okay, because your waste have to be dumped, they have to be incinerated, so you are creating air pollution, fugitive emission, you are creating water pollution, land soil pollution, and the insects and other animals are attracted towards the waste, which again ultimate create new nuances to the people. So if you are creating less waste and managing your waste in a responsible manner, you are actually becoming socially responsible. Okay. Another is environmental performance additional to legal norms. So you are not only fulfilling the waste management rules, various rules, but you are actually doing more than that, beyond compliance. And institute a leadership in the peer community, that when you do that, more people come and approach you, they benchmark you, they take inspiration from you, and automatically your brand value also goes up. So there are multiple advantages of this concept of circularity and zero waste to landfill. So what are the methods? How do you do it? So first is we have to do a conduct a waste review, like initial environment review. So we have to do initial waste review. So there is a waste audit, okay, that how much waste is generated, how it is currently managed, okay, as per your design and manufacturing process efficiency, how much should be the waste in the process, okay, unavoidable waste, and how much is the actual quantity, and whether the actual practices on ground, are they in line with the circularity principles. So that is what the waste audit. So there is a waste inventory and original raw materials, useful product. So original raw materials minus sellable product should be the waste quantity. In between, if there is a anything not matching, that means there is a problem in inventory management and materials management. So through waste management, you can also improve your efficiency in materials management. Second is introduce actionable waste reduction methods. So we will see some of them when we look into the case studies. Then third is creating a system for segregating business waste and dry mixed recycling. Okay, so you should have proper understanding amongst the people. Normally what happens, the waste pickers are the community who are taken from contractors, okay, and contract labor who work in this area are minimally educated, okay, and they are really unwillingly they are working in that particular area. So unless you guide them, educate them, give them respect, create the respectable workplace in the waste management yard, they will not give you the value. So that is where we have to have proper segregation practices and competency building practices, and even human rights related respect has to be given to the rack pickers or waste segregators, waste management people. Involve staff in waste management programs so that they know what is the importance, where the raw materials are coming. If more waste is generated, what happens, how we impact the environment, how it is impacting the profitability of the company, how it impacts the society. So all the E, S and G aspects of waste management should be properly explained to the people. The last is divert residual waste to EFW facilities. Means EFW facilities are your the waste management facilities, environment related issues, facility management related issues. Okay, so waste, then waste collection, then it is going to the plant, then you are actually processing the waste, you are trying to reduce the extract the energy from it. So all these things have to be done in as if It is a new factory that, the one factory was, you started with raw materials, you produce the sellable product, and you have come out with the waste materials. Now what you have to do, there is a second factory you have to open, where your waste is the input. Okay, you are creating something, value adding something, so that recycle, reuse is maximized, the emissions have been minimized, and ultimate maximum recycle, reuse, and thereby lesser wastage ultimately going to landfill or incineration. So this is a second waste recovery factory you should have within the scope. So there is a international standard UL 2799. It is not 227. It is 2799. That is the error here. This is a underwriters laboratory standard from US. Okay, and they initially started this concept. They came up with the the waste diversion, ratios, formulae, etc. And through that, the process has started. So this standard provides a framework for the evaluation and verification of entities that send little or no discarded material to landfill or incineration, by reducing the amount of discarded material generated and diverting remaining materials from landfill and incineration. So you are diverting the waste materials from going to land disposal or burning them. Okay. The standard addresses all materials, leaving the entity under review except for finished goods and personnel. Liquid materials, for example, oils, lubricants, paints, which could be disposed of in a landfill, are generally within the scope of this standard. Not included in the scope of the standard is wastewater, black and gray water, and its associated contents. So only this aspect is kept separately, because already the water management practices are taking care. So mainly the solid, and to some extent some of the liquids except water, is getting part of this particular. So this is where I was telling you, the organization one is producing the usable products, sellable products, and also the waste. Now this is becoming a source material for second factory. So, most common types of waste, okay, what we see is fly ash, incinerator, bottom ash. So these are all coming from incinerators and, the coal-based thermal power plants, etc. Average residual percentages. So from your actual factory working, okay, whatever you are having, so residual. So we call it as industrial waste, we call it as. Then there is a composted material. Okay, so you can convert that into manure very easily. Then there is a construction and demolition debris, which is, in new factory also, and in existing factory, some or the other repair work or expansion work always goes on. So this gets generated. Then we have the diverted waste, internally processed waste, and or non landfill bound waste sent for external processing. So you are selling it to the external agency for recycle, reuse in some other process. Okay, so your waste is becoming input to some other factory. For example, a sheet metal factory output waste is becoming input for foundry for remelting it, or for steel manufacturing. So that is called diverted waste. Then there are e-waste, where a lot of processing is required to extract the precious metals from that. And then hazardous waste, where normally the waste will go either for incineration or treatment and landfill. Okay, so that is where hazardous waste is coming into picture. Schedule 3 from hazardous waste management rules. Then there is a prevented waste from redesign. So, whatever packaging you are developing, you design the packaging in such a way that you have avoided the waste generation by the, so this is proactive approach. Okay. Then reclaimed materials. So suppose you are having some machinery which is coming from external source, which is coming through various, wooden packaging, or some the materials like glass, etc. You can't directly bring it on pallets or something. So you have to have some proper packaging. So such things you can always you can get into next practice. Then recycled materials like glass, okay, glass bottles, etc. Then reused materials, okay, like plastic bags, some other gunny bags, or some plastic bottles, etc. Those can be reused. Then there is residues, okay, residues from, suppose there is a DG set oil tank. After the oil is utilized, the bottom one, although it may be a hazardous waste, but still that is a residue, okay. Then sold waste material, okay, so material defined as waste within the bounds of the project, which is sold as input into another manufacturing process towards production of goods, also includes donated material. So there is a very good correlation between this and one more category that we saw earlier. And then another is waste to energy, okay. So energy recovered from material that would have been disposed of as waste, but instead has been collected through managed processes. So for example, say hazardous waste from paint shop, okay, the paint waste, you paint waste paint, now you are utilizing it in cement kilns, where you are burning it, and all that heat is being consumed for heating the material in the cement manufacturing, and the pollutants are managed properly through the incineration better practices. So that is how it goes to waste to energy kind of practices. So these are all some of the methods, with different types of waste that organization can properly manage. Now let's see few case studies. So let us see the organization Canon. The company maximizes value from its manufactured capital by collecting used equipment from the market, remanufacturing it and reselling it with the same high quality guarantee as original products. Like, many cameras, or, many washing machines also, they take the earlier machine back. Maybe they must be using many of those components, some products, motors with rewinding or recycling. So a lot of things, they do. Second is Tata Motors. One of the company's highly successful circular economy initiative is Tata Pro Life. The ambition is to minimize the product life cycle cost, allowing the company to offer high quality products at a reduced price. So this is another example. The third one is company Suez. Suez aimed to double the volume of plastics recycled by 2020, increase the production of renewable energy from waste and water facilities by 10%, and improve alternative water resources supplies. Okay, so plastic many people consider as a challenge, but innovative people find different methods of managing the same. And after the government requirement in plastic waste management and the EPR requirements, many people are coming up with innovative ideas for waste management. That is becoming another business for many of the companies. Another company launched a lift line in 2014, real time on demand ride sharing model to maximize every seat in the car. So this created more value for customers by offering fare reductions of up to 60%. Now this sharing model is coming in India. The blah blah taxi service and many such similar services. You can book, and then instead of one person going or two persons going in a car, all the seats are maximum utilized. Thereby, there is an advantage for all the people, improving efficiency. Another one example is Renault. Renault has implemented circular strategies at all stages of the vehicle life cycle, including dematerialization through design as well as end of life vehicle collection and dismantling, reuse, manufacture and recycling. In India, Tata Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, they have also started their own companies, separate business verticals, where they are collecting the used vehicles from the customers and properly dismantling and maximum recycle reuse is ensured. Another is Philips. So Philips moved from selling equipment alone to providing solutions to hospitals and other care providers. This allows Philips to reduce the total life cycle cost of equipment and extend their lifetimes. Philips has achieved 50 to 90% material reuse depending on the product through its refurbishing activities, including its reuse of 940 tons of refurbished medical imaging equipment in 2016. So instead of you giving an equipment, you give the complete service. So, that way the ownership is also there. Companies are also relieved of maintenance and other issues. For example, this principally is used many times in aerospace industry. Okay, aeroplanes. So they don't actually give you the flight, but they give you the complete service. Okay, complete end to end, right from product, service, people, everything. They own it, and they give the complete solution. One more example where this Michelin Solutions offers a fleet tire management solution called AFIT tires, in which customers pay a monthly fee for traveling kilometers or miles instead of tires. This alteration of the existing business model from product to service-based offers turns customers into long-term partners and generates improvements to fleet efficiency, productivity, and environmental impact. Similarly, Dow Chemicals. Okay, Dow Chemicals is one of the very known name in DuPont and other areas. Dow Chemicals Packaging Group has observed that programs aiming to close loop have had a significant effect on their recruiting efforts. Dow estimated that approximately 80% of new recruits viewed the company's commitment to sustainability as the number one reason for joining. Nowadays, people don't join just because you have better salary structure, better name, but they also see how sustainable the company is. So this is also another advantage that one gets. Okay, a few more examples. TerraCycle. So TerraCycle has cemented a market niche as the company that can recycle anything. Collected cigarette butts, filters, and packaging are manufactured into industrial products like plastic pallets, while remaining residual tobacco and ash are composted. So that way, they properly segregate it and properly, convert them into usable other products. There is another example in partnership with NIGA. DSM redesigned carpet manufacturing and end of life characteristics. This product differentiates from others based on characteristics that allow manufacturers to easily separate the carpet fiber and backing without compromising the quality of the original product. So, through all these examples, you will know that rather than looking at waste as a challenge, many people who have converted waste to energy or waste to another product, they have taken it as a challenge. They have seen opportunities for innovation, creative thinking, new business models, and thereby improving economy as well as environmental care responsibilities. So I can go on and on with various examples. So let us park here, and we can have more question and answers now. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. We have few questions. I'll take the one. Could you please briefly describe energy recovery from waste?
Yeah, if you see, I mean, my Maharashtra itself, I can give examples. You have this Ramki group. Okay, Ramki group converted waste management as a business, and Mumbai Waste Management Limited or Maharashtra Enviro Power Limited, both these waste management companies, what they are doing, they are not only segregating waste, treating the waste which can be landfilled, then landfilling that, closing those landfills, managing those for another 10-15 years, and then using for the similar purpose. And the waste which has got high calorific value, okay, they are using it for burning it in a very controlled manner. So for them, burning that waste, converting that waste into energy, heat energy, utilizing that heat energy for creating a steam, from steam to getting into electrical energy generation, feeding it to the state electricity board and making it as a value proposition. So this itself is a good example of waste to energy kind of situation. Similarly, the biofuels, whatever we are trying to consider, that is also another waste to energy kind of a solution. So many such examples can be given, but these are two which are very significantly coming to my mind.
Great. Sir, just a add-on question to that. Would
Yeah,
these kind of energy that is produced, are they considered renewable energy or they aren't
not
renewable?
really,
Hmm,
not really, uh, because in the process you are still polluting. Okay.
true.
Only thing is, instead of just dumping it and burning without care, you are doing it carefully and trying to maximize the good objective, at the same time managing those pollutants also in a more controlled manner, keeping the government norms of pollution in check. So it is not a really complete clean energy renewable, but semi, I would say semi kind of a renewable. Yes.
Okay. So they're also creating GHG by themselves by doing this, but in a
Definitely. That is
limited
why in
quantity.
GHG emission accounting, if you see scope 3 emissions, there are waste management related GHGs you are supposed to account.
Thank you.
And just one question with related to this. So when we talk about incineration, so that should be the last option, right? In circular economy.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you see the hierarchy that I showed you, we are starting from waste reduction at source. So prevention of pollution starts with prevention. The first is prevention,
Right.
elimination.
Yeah.
Okay, then you go for the segregation, proper segregation, or recycle, reuse, treatment, extracting energy, converting them in alternative products. If nothing can be done, then only you are going either for landfill or for incineration.
Right. Perfect. Perfect. And yeah, that clears the point. Yeah. Yeah. So one more question, which is related to when a company reuses material and create a new product. Maybe we can talk as a refurbish, right? Do they have?
Refurbished, recycled, and even in the original raw material.
Uh,
Suppose you were using virgin material, 100% was virgin. Now,
mm,
because your quality control, R&D, and customer, they have allowed you to use say 20% recycled product. So to that extent, your new extraction from natural resources has been slowed down or delayed.
right.
Okay. So to that extent, for some more years, the future generation can be relieved of the pollutants or the exploitation of ecology.
Mm. Right. So the question is, so if they are doing it, let's say organizations are doing it, so they are replacing uh, the old components, maybe reused materials, refurbished products they are making. So accordingly, are they charging less or that's not requirement?
See, currently, see, companies are doing sustainability not just for the sake of sustainability. People are attracted towards sustainability because they see the bottom line.
Right.
Okay, they
True.
see in the waste reduction, waste to energy, waste to wealth, they are converting that into wealth. So that is the major motto. Incidentally, pollution is also being taken care. Okay, and society is also getting in a way benefited.
Right.
So E, S, and G are all the three getting managed. Prime focus for most of the company, because businesses are meant for creating more wealth at lesser costs and thereby improving the profitability for the company. Most of the companies are using sustainability as a one more tool for business excellence. Okay.
Correct.
And in the process, they are also projecting it as if they have done something great for ecology and society, and trying to gain an extra advantage in the minds of people, in the customers. Okay.
So, but sir,
So,
the question was more
reducing
of
cost and passing it on to the customers. Okay. That depends upon the market demand, supply, competition, competitive prices, and how much proactive the top management is, and how much really they walk the talk. Okay, so depends upon that integrity part, this way answer can come. There is no A or B answer. It has got multiple other dimensions also.
Yeah, Achyut, please.
yeah. Sir, the question was more of, I understand the companies from a bottom line perspective, it helps and things like that. But from a regulatory perspective, say for example, let's say some machine manufacturing company, LG or somebody, if they take back your older washing machines and reuse those components in their new model that they sell to the customer, is it obligatory on their part to mention that it is a refurbished product?
Naturally, because otherwise, the customer will say that you have given me the secondary product,
Exactly.
and as see, nobody will tell you that how much material I have used recycled from his. He will try to say that even though I might have used the material, my quality characteristics, the features, the specifications are not affected. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so that is a basic thing, because principle 9 of BRSR is for customer care, for consumer care.
Okay.
So that is a basic thing, without affecting the quality. If you are doing good to the environment and good to society, customer will accept it. Okay. Customer is not going to accept because he is paying the money for getting those, functional performance from that product. So
Understood, sir.
for
So the
your
question,
eco-labeling hobby, he is not going to get affected because he has paid the price for that. He wants value
exactly.
from it, right?
So, so the
Yeah.
question still is, sir, sorry, I'm belaboring this topic, but the question is, at what, up to what percentage that if they reuse, uh, is it
That that
valid
that is
for
a
them to
that is
not
a
call out?
buy-in. That is a buy-in that the organization has to get from their quality assurance department, and quality assurance department has to get the buy-in from the customer R&D department. If customer R&D department is allowing you in writing on the
Hmm,
product specification sheet and the drawing sheet, then only you can officially do it. And if in
understood.
absence of that, if you are doing it, in a way it is a cheating to the customer.
Exactly. Understood. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks for asking that. Yeah, and one related, not related, but just we are trying to understand. So whether EPR, that is Extended Producer Responsibility Regulations, by design are meant to promote circularity. So is that
Absolutely.
right? Yeah,
Absolutely. Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. So when once EPR is, let's say, implemented, so we would see more circularity in action. So that is something that we can say.
Yeah.
Definitely, if it is not managed the way normal compliances are managed, okay,
Mhm.
if
Right.
there is really truthfulness, honesty, transparency, accountability, and real genuineness in the purpose for which this EPR has been generated, if that is done, yes, definitely there is a lot of value in extending the life of the planet.
So the follow-up question to that EPR thing is, how much of it is, from a regulatory perspective, is mandatory or is it voluntary at this point in time?
No, no, no. EPR is mandatory for certain categories like hazardous waste, e-waste, oil, tires, battery waste, plastic waste. For some of these categories, specific requirements have come from Central Pollution Control Board, and lot of monitoring is there, and end to end, the balancing, the waste mass balancing is actually the principle on which the entire EPR is working. So you know how much should be the waste and how much is the actual waste, thereby giving you a trigger to rethink on your design, rethink on your processes, rethink on your process control measures, rethink on your administrative controls of collecting waste, segregating waste, treating it, waste to energy, waste to landfill, all that practices. So in entire thing, the rethinking is required. And for that, this regulatory requirement will, a kind of force you to think. Okay. That is the whole purpose.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And one more interesting comment actually added by Vijay. So Singapore relies on waste incineration to manage a large portion of its solid waste, with about 42% going to waste to energy plants. The remaining non-incinerable waste and ash are transported to Simakau landfill for final disposal. And Simakau is a man-made island that has been developed into a nature reserve with the incinerated waste laying beneath the park-like surface. Yeah, so
Good.
that's the interest.
But see, Singapore is doing more because they don't have land. It's a
Mhm.
very small island. There is a
Very
lot
true.
of load of human activity increasing regularly. More and more people want to go there and settle because they are managing their country much better than many other countries like Switzerland and other Netherlands and all. So therefore, that is the purpose why they are not using more land for waste management. Okay, in the process, they are getting some other advantages, economical advantages, but that is my perception. I may be wrong, I do not know, but that is one perspective in which one can look at it.
Right. So, with this point, we can also say that circular economy implementation also requires contextual understanding. So, where are we implementing it, and at this.
Absolutely. Now see, IGBC certification for buildings or LEED certification for buildings, there also they are expecting more and more circular economy practices in materials, in energy use, in ventilation, in air conditioning, in waste management, water management, fire safety management, in all aspects. They are expecting more and more environmental friendly practices. So this is one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I'm just trying to understand. So where circular economy comes as a place in any organization. So what I understood from the session, maybe it would be an organization has completed, let's say, scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. They know all the categories where they have their emissions. And now BRSR report or the sustainability report, they are also following the frameworks, whichever is relevant for them. And now they want to improve their performance. So circular economy will come as a tool at that point of time. Yes, you can reduce your emissions with the circular economy. Or is there any other approach as well? Where do
See, I'll tell you,
yeah,
in organization, we want to improve the productivity in all aspects, not just the labor productivity. What is generally people understand is labor productivity.
right,
Okay, how many people I used for creating how much wealth. Okay,
right,
now you are in the shop floor, you are putting pressure on production and maintenance people for
right,
improving productivity of equipment through OE improvement, TPM practices.
right,
Now for material efficiency improvement, the design processes and materials management people have to work together along with the suppliers. So that is where your material resource efficiency is improved. Okay, similarly, the facility management is forced for reducing energy intensity by improving energy efficiency. So for every HR people and the industrial engineering people are being forced to improve labor productivity, man minutes or man seconds, whatever you are implementing. So there is a pressure on every department for improving its productivity. Okay,
right,
so that is where the finance accounts people, they are being forced to manage the working capital flow in such a way that their money productivity is improved. So like that, the material, this recycling, reuse and circularity is a tool available to material resource efficiency measures, which are normally managed by R&D and engineering people in the upfront, production people in the process, and post-production activities of waste management by logistics and relevant departments. So entire organization comes in picture for circularity, right from design, in processes, manufacturing, process optimization, actual administrative controls, managing the waste yard, disposing it, accounting for it, compliance management part of it, and reporting to the outside stakeholders. Entire PDCA cycle gets covered in this circular economy.
Wow,
Yes.
that's great. And your answer gave us real clarity on how wide is circular economy and how can organizations implement it. Thanks a lot. Apart from that, if anyone has any question, please you can ask. You can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah, I just wanted to tell you that apart from UL 2799,
Mhm.
there is Eurofin standard, EUROFINS, that is being used by many companies nowadays, and one true standard, TRUE, true standard, which is from TUV Nord. They have generated their own standard. But internationally, if you see, UL 2799 is most recognized in Western world also. Okay.
And sir, what about the ISO standard? I read recently that ISO has launched something for circular economy.
ISO as see, even this green credit program, what Indian government has started, there also these principles of circularity is there. Mission Life, lifestyle for environment, which central government has launched, it
Right.
has got a lot to do with circularity and waste reduction practices.
Mhm.
So definitely, I am not aware of exactly the standard number what you are referring to, but if at all, there is a international standard which has come on ESG implementation.
Yeah, that's
Okay, so there is already a standard which is in the working group level at the moment, WG, this one. It will
yes.
get into draft international, final draft, and then get converted into ISO in next 2-3 years. But already a thought has been given for ESG implementation ISO standard. So there also the practices of circularity are being mentioned.
Great.
I have a question, Dhananjay. So, sir, the question. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So the question is, I was just thinking about companies such as the pen companies, right? So, especially when individuals like us buy paint containers, so we use the paint and then we dispose them off. So, how in such use cases where circular economy will work, where because the awareness is less when it comes to individuals, and if it has to work in such areas, how has it been implemented in such cases? Or
See, I was there earlier in Mahanagar Gas Limited, where they put lot of gas pipelines in societies for pipeline gases. Now, I asked them the question: you bring the pipes, you paint them, and you connect them, and then you give the gas. And those paint dabbas, you are not collecting. So what they say is that responsibility we have put on the contractors. And contractors, there is no control what
yeah.
they do with that. They will just collect those and put it in some waste bins on the way. Okay. So that is actually a incomplete cycle. Okay. So we have to actually put the onus onto the main company who is managing that. Another is now the mission life. Actually, if the awareness of mission life is taken on war footing, and if all the digital and other communication media are used effectively, like any other advertisement, branding, and other things, I think that can give a lot of advantage in terms of educating people on various ESG practices. So that is one solution where we can use mission life for increasing awareness, including the spent waste. Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, I
Thanks.
have a question. Actually, I wanted to understand that I've read somewhere that whenever there is a waste to energy kind of a model, so there is a lot of energy which gets wasted. I mean, you don't get the output that put, as in there is a lot of loss of energy in every step. Also, whenever you are, refurbishing something or reusing something, then also the efficiency actually reduces, and eventually it turns out to be a little more expensive. Is that correct? Like, and then if that is the thing, then it is quite a challenge for, like, how does typically Ramki do? Because you share an example of Ramki, maybe they are using it for very big organization where they get a very pure kind of a waste, if the waste is not filtered properly, then you think that segregating them is another cost, and then utilizing it for waste to energy has huge amount of
See,
input.
yeah, see, Ramki Group is working for organized organizations. Okay, the general municipal solid waste doesn't go there. Municipal solid waste, which is a unorganized waste, is going to government or municipal corporation landfills. Okay, waste collection, segregation, and those practices. So normally the statutory compliance requirements are applicable to the which are registered organizations, either as MSMEs or private companies or listed companies. So they come under proper compliance mechanism. So the Ramki kind group, if they get a mixed up waste, okay, not properly organized, they can return or they can increase the cost of disposal. So naturally, if there is a return of waste and there is a statutory non-compliance, naturally people will become more aware. Now, coming to your question of whether energy recovery is costly and should somebody go for it or not, that is the economic business model. Whenever any company works out, they must have thought about it. So Ramki will not do it just like that. Okay, Ramki, they are actually collecting lot of money per kg of paint waste. They collect about 35-40 rupees from companies. Okay, now that amounts that actually they are already recovering their cost of converting that into energy, and they are additionally getting advantage of creating electricity. That is where the profit comes. They are not here only to help you to manage your waste. They are here to create value for their organization. So the business model has been worked in a win-win situation. Okay. No, otherwise, the Ramki is a private group. Why will they continue to exist? They will close the business.
Thank you, thank you. So in a way, we can say that the municipal waste is still a nuisance, and not much has been thought of for the municipal waste.
Yeah, a lot of efforts are going on, but the until the lifestyle of people is modified, is made responsible, and at source reduction of waste is ensured in every house. Any amount of effort that the municipal corporation puts will always be insufficient. So there is a lot to be done in the whole process.
Correct, correct.
But good to start with Mission Life. I am sold on to that. Mission Life is an external excellent document, and that has to become a part of DNA in entire education system. A lot can be done through that. If the whole world is using that, why wherever I go, most of the companies I go for ESG training, nobody knows that there is a Mission Life. So I actually conduct a 3-hour workshop only on Mission Life, so that people know that what central government has created and how it is useful. And in fact, we have developed CSR programs through Mission Life, to educate children, the school teachers, students, waste pickers, etc.
Great, great, great. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mona Lisa, for asking that question. And just one thing I want to add, just one sentence. When we talk about circular waste, generally we only think about waste management, or how do we manage the waste at the end of life cycle, right? But circular economy is not only about managing waste, it's also about rethinking about business model. And there are many
Absolutely.
models are coming. Like one is a great example of Philips. What Philips did, so they started selling as a lighting as a service. Means we don't buy bulb just to buy bulb. We want lighting, and that's why we purchase the bulb as a equipment. So what they did, so they provided service of lighting. Let's say we will not purchase bulb, we will purchase lighting from Philips. That is, Philips will take care of the bulbs, whether it is new or old or whatever it is, whatever they do. So they will recycle it, try to maximize the lifespan of their equipment, their bulb. But for us, it is a surety of the lighting that we require, and we will have it as an arrangement, maybe yearly agreement in that kind. So that's a win-win for both the parties. And at the same time, it's a win for environment. So such kind of innovative business models is a requirement in circular economy.
Yes. So actually, we can have another session where we discuss about business opportunities in effective ESG implementation.
Mhm.
Not just this waste management. There are opportunities in all other areas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you,
Okay.
sir. We have taken more time, around 16 minutes. So still, if anybody has any last comment, just half minute, 1 minute, you
Or
can.
any feedback also.
Yes, yes.
Sir, you answered my question even before I asked it. I was looking at what is the business opportunity for third parties in a circular economy. I think it in itself, like you said, is a session. Maybe Dhananjay, we can add it as a queued item for some other conversation in the future.
Sure. Yes. Any other comment, feedback, you can. Please feel free to add your points. Okay, great.
Okay, I think, yeah, Dhananjay will close. Huh?
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for
Thank you
the
so much, sir.
session. It was really, indeed, it was great, and we got to know a lot of case studies and how practically it is done. So thank you. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir. And
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.